Hello, my friends. We are now on the 30th episode of our BPO 101 Career Guide series. In this episode, we will be addressing a comment from Hot Dog, one of our followers who tried applying in the BPO industry, who passed the initial interview but failed the language assessment. In a previous episode, I talked about the many different language assessments that are required if you're applying in the BPO industry as part of your application process. Language assessment is required if you're applying in a voice account. The most common and widely used language assessment is called Versant. What is Versant? If you're familiar with B vocals, Berlitz, or even IELTS, Versant is somewhat similar. The Versant English test has 6 item types. We have reading, listening and repeats, short answer questions, sentence builds, story retelling, and open questions. Now, let's try to discuss each item. The first part is reading, where applicants are simply asked to read words, phrases, or short sentences. You need to make sure that you speak clearly and pronounce the words correctly. Here's an example. Parallel, fellowship and worship. Robin has 3 siblings, Linda, Cherry, and Erwin. The leaves sway from left to right. What are you complaining about? Rose eats fruits and vegetables to take care of her health. Now let's go to the second part, which is the listen and repeat, where applicants are asked to listen to recorded phrases and sentences and repeat it afterwards. Here's an example.
Are you new to the building?
Are you new to the building?
I live in apartment 19.
I live in apartment 19.
This pizza isn't very good, is it?
This pizza isn't very good, is it?
This is a really fun party, isn't it?
This is a really fun party, isn't it?
How many sisters do you have?
How many sisters do you have?
Sorry, I have a dance lesson at 7 p.m.
Sorry, I have a dance lesson at 7 p.m. That's how you do it. You need to listen to the sentences carefully and repeat it clearly. Now let's move on to the third part, which is the short answer question, where the applicants are asked a simple question and they must provide a short answer. Now, here's an example for you.
What is a scientific test that is done to discover or prove something?
Experiment.
What is the last part of a piece of school or college work called, where you write a summary or give your opinion on the main points?
Conclusion.
What is the term for the process where an area of land is watered using pipes and tunnels in the ground?
Irrigation.
What do we call the industry which is concerned with flying, making and operating aircraft?
Aviation.
What is the name of the colors and patterns animals have on their skin or fur which help them appear less visible?
Camouflage. That's how you do it. You need to make sure that you understand the question and answer it correctly. The fourth part of the assessment is called sentence builds. In this task, you will hear 3 short phrases that you need to arrange to make a sentence. The phrases are presented in a scrambled manner and you need to rearrange those to make a complete sentence. Here's an example.
My boss to London moved.
My boss moved to London.
Of your family, any pictures do you have?
Do you have any pictures of your family?
To their leader, listen carefully, the young man.
The young men listened carefully to their leader.
Real smiles and fake smiles by different parts of the brain are controlled.
Real smiles and fake smiles are controlled by different parts of the brain. You need to listen carefully, pick up the phrases as fast as you can, scramble it in your mind, and create a full sentence. The fifth part of Versant is the story retelling. In this section of the test, applicants are required to listen to 3 brief stories and retell these stories using their own words. And take note, it is actually limited to only 30 seconds. Let's give an example for you.
The local basketball team was warming up to play the last game of the season when they were announced that the game had been cancelled due to an electrical problem in the arena. The game was then played next Wednesday and they won by a huge margin.
While the local basketball team was warming up, they learned that the final game of the season was cancelled because of an electrical problem. They then played the following Wednesday, where they won by a huge margin.
The head of human resources was planning a training for the new sales team when she got a call from a colleague who needed her approval to start hiring the new wave of employees. She went there and gave the approval after making sure everything was in order.
While the head of the human resources was planning for a training to the new sales team, she got a call from a colleague asking for her approval to hire new employees. The approval was made by her after ensuring that everything is in order.
Two friends decided to spend the weekend at the beach as they used to do when they were kids. However, this time was really different. The beach was full of plastic waste, so instead of sunbathing and swimming, they decided to clean up a little and report this to local authorities.
Two friends decided to spend the weekend at the beach just like what they were used to. However, when they went there, they found a lot of plastic waste in the beach where they cleaned up and reported to local authorities. You need to listen and understand the whole story, summarize it if possible. The shorter, the better, for as long as the gist of the story is included. Now let's go to the last part, which is the open questions. This part of a test is like a usual Q&A or an extemporaneous speech. You'll be asked a random question about life, family, or about anything, and you're going to answer it within 40 seconds. Now, here's an example for you.
Should workers get paid according to their education or their effort? Please explain your answer and give examples. Should workers get paid according to their education or their effort? Please explain your answer and give examples.
Workers must be paid through their effort and not just their education, because the quality of the job is what makes customers happy and stay with the company. Though education is also important, effort is more important to ensure that excellent customer service is achieved at all times.
Should people give up cars and motorcycles to avoid causing pollution? Please explain your answer and give examples. Should people give up cars and motorcycles to avoid causing pollution? Please explain your answer and give examples.
Cars and motorcycles are important in giving fast and comfortable transportation in our society. However, they cause air pollution a lot. It may not be possible to get rid of these transportation channels, but what we can do is to lessen the effects of pollution by advocating for electric vehicles, bicycles, and planting more trees. It is our duty to take care of our environment for the future generations. That's how you do it. While you're taking the test, it is very important that you need to relax, be comfortable with yourself and your environment, listen carefully, speak clearly and slowly, and most importantly, be mindful of the time limit. That's it for today's episode, my friends. I hope you learned something about language assessments in this episode. Thank you, God bless, and get the job today.